The Resident Evil community just exploded. Fresh leaks dropped for Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and honestly, this might be the biggest info dump we've seen since the game's official announcement back in June. We're talking gameplay footage that wasn't supposed to see the light of day, story details that completely change what we thought we knew about this game, and some seriously wild connections to the original Raccoon City outbreak. Grace Ashcroft is our protagonist, and she's not your typical Resident Evil hero. She's an FBI analyst, which already sets her apart from the combat-hardened veterans we usually play as. But here's where it gets personal. Grace is investigating her mother's death, and that investigation leads her straight into the nightmare that's about to unfold. The leaked footage shows her handling a pistol in dark, claustrophobic corridors, and you can immediately see she's not as confident as someone like Leon or Chris. Her movements are more cautious, more realistic for someone who analyzes cases rather than fights bioweapons for a living. Speaking of Leon, he's back, and his role in this game is split into two distinct phases. First half, he's hunting down the main villain, Victor Yurichenko. Second half, everything goes sideways, and Leon shifts focus to rescuing Grace from whatever hell she's gotten herself into. This two-phase structure is fascinating because it means we're probably getting dual perspectives or at least significant story shifts midway through the campaign. Victor Yurichenko is the name you need to remember. This guy isn't just another mad scientist or power-hungry corporate executive. He's created something called the Elanthropus virus, and this is where things get genuinely terrifying. The Elanthropus virus is a hybrid. It combines the mold from Resident Evil 7 and Village with the original progenitor virus that started this entire franchise. Think about that for a second. The regenerative, mind-controlling properties of the mold mixed with the mutation-inducing chaos of the progenitor. The leaks suggest this creates infections that are both unpredictable and incredibly difficult to kill. But Victor's not working alone, and here's where the story takes a dark turn. Alyssa Ashcroft, and yes, that's Grace's mother, becomes the game's stalker enemy. She's been possessed or controlled by Victor somehow, which means Grace isn't just fighting to survive, she's fighting against her own mother. This is peak Resident Evil psychological horror. Imagine Mr. X or Nemesis, but it's someone you're emotionally connected to. The leaked gameplay shows Alyssa moving with that signature stalker unpredictability, appearing when you least expect it, creating constant tension. The setting takes us back to where it all began, Raccoon City. But this isn't the Raccoon City from the remakes. The leaks indicate we're seeing different areas, possibly parts of the city that weren't explored in RE2 or 3. The atmosphere looks absolutely brutal, dark, decaying, with that classic survival horror vibe cranked up to 11. Path tracing graphics are confirmed, which means if you're running an RTX 5090 or equivalent, this game is going to look photorealistic in the most terrifying way possible. Classic enemies are making their return, and fans are going to lose their minds over this. Zombies are back, not the molded, not Les Plagas, actual George Romero-style zombies. The leaked footage shows them shambling through corridors, lunging at Grace with that unpredictable timing that made the original game so tense. Lickers are confirmed, those tongue-wielding nightmares that made us all paranoid about every ceiling in RE2. G-types are returning, which suggests we might see some connection to William Birkin's research, and Drain Deimos, those insect creatures from RE3, are also making an appearance, which means outdoor areas are going to be just as dangerous as indoor ones. The roster of returning characters is stacked. Jill Valentine, Claire Redfield, Sherry Birkin, and Yoko Suzuki are all confirmed to appear. Now, we don't know exactly how significant their roles are, whether they're playable, support characters, or just cameos, but having this many legacy characters suggests Capcom is going all in on fan service while telling a new story. Yoko Suzuki is particularly interesting because she hasn't had major screen time since the original RE Outbreak games, so her inclusion hints at some deeper connections to Raccoon City's history. Campaign length is locked at 18 hours, which puts it right in that sweet spot between RE2 Remake's tighter experience and RE4 Remake's longer adventure. 6 main bosses are confirmed, split between Leon's sections and Grace's sections. If the two-phase structure is real, we're probably looking at 3 bosses per character, each escalating in difficulty and horror. The leaks don't detail what these bosses are, but given the Elanthropus virus's hybrid nature, expect mutations that combine the body horror of classic RE with the unpredictable transformations of the mold. Extra content includes a mercenaries-style mode, which has become a staple of modern Resident Evil games. If it follows the RE4 Remake formula, we're looking at time-based challenges, combo systems, and hopefully playable characters beyond just Leon and Grace. This is where Jill, Claire, and the other returning characters might get their moment to shine with unique abilities and weapons. The deluxe edition details leaked, and there's some wild stuff in here. 5 costume packs for Grace, including, and I'm not making this up, a Lady Dimitrescu skin. That's right, Grace can dress up as the internet's favorite tall vampire lady. Beyond the meme value, we're also getting weapon skins, photo mode filters, charms for weapon customization, and a steelbook case. Pre-orders are already live across all platforms. Release date is locked for February 27, 2026, hitting PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Steam, and here's the kicker, Nintendo Switch 2. This confirms Nintendo's next console is launching before February 2026, and Capcom has enough confidence in the hardware to develop a version for it. Whether it'll match the visual fidelity of the other platforms remains to be seen, but having a portable Resident Evil 9 option is huge. One story element that's flying under the radar but could be massive is the Connections organization is apparently helping to stop the Rhodes Hill infection. For those who don't remember, the Connections created Evelyn and the Mold in Resident Evil 7. Having them as potential allies, even temporarily, completely flips the script on what we thought we knew about this shadowy organization. Are they trying to clean up their mess, or is there a bigger play happening here? What makes these leaks credible is how they align with Capcom's recent direction. After Resident Evil 7 and Village experimented with first-person and different gameplay styles, Resident Evil 9 seems to be returning to the third-person survival horror roots that the remakes perfected. The emphasis on classic enemies, Raccoon City setting, and resource management visible in the leaked footage all point to a game that's learning from what worked in RE2 and RE3 Remake while pushing the story forward. The community response has been intense. Some fans are skeptical about certain details, others are hyped beyond belief, and everyone's analyzing every frame of the leaked footage, trying to spot connections to previous games. The debate around whether Alyssa as a stalker enemy will be too emotionally manipulative or brilliantly psychological is particularly heated. We're roughly 3 months out from release, which means the marketing machine is about to kick into overdrive. Whether we see a new trailer at the Game Awards in December 2025 remains unconfirmed, but Capcom hasn't officially announced anything. But given the game's February launch, it would make sense to build momentum with one final showcase before release. Bottom line, Resident Evil 9 Requiem is shaping up to be exactly what longtime fans have been asking for. Classic horror, returning characters, a protagonist who isn't a superhuman soldier, and a virus that combines the scariest elements from the franchise's history. If these leaks are accurate, and all signs point to yes, February 2026 can't come fast enough. Drop your thoughts below. Are you Team Grace or Team Leon? Which returning character are you most excited to see? And do you think that Lady Dimitrescu costume is genius or completely ridiculous? Hit that like button, subscribe for more Resident Evil coverage, and I'll catch you in the next one.